Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. This is Fabrizio Romano, aka Mr. Kenya Revolutionary. Now, today I want to give you five major reasons why Azimio Maandamano did not succeed. Why? Five major reasons why Azimio's Maandamano did not succeed and will not succeed. I say this before through my videos, and I mentioned this, not this reason in particular, but I just refined these reasons. So hopefully it will be clear to you and hopefully you respond. But before I get to the reasons, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. Tell me what you think about these five reasons, okay? Let's get into it. Reason number one, Maandamano is always a people's initiated action, okay? It's not individual initiated action. What do I mean? People, when the general perception is that we have been wronged, most people will take action, go to the streets and protest against whatever they're agitating against. They don't wait for any leader, any political leader or any church leader, whatever, to tell them go out there and protest. I'll give you a quick example. In 2007, once Kibaki was sworn in the middle of the night, remember the perception was that Kibaki had rigged himself in. So people took to the streets and there was violence and protests erupted in the streets. You remember in Eldoret, Rift Valley, in Kisumu, Mombasa, Coast Province, everywhere, okay? Raila did not come out and tell the people to go and protest. This happened organically, okay? Spontaneous action. So that's what I'm saying. Successful protest is usually led and emanates from the people, okay? Raila just was the candidate that was favored, but he wasn't the reason why people rioted. They were just rioting because they felt they voted for him, but Kibaki rigged himself in. Same thing with 2017, okay? Now, I know a lot of people say, no, Raila has a lot of following and he has, leverage when it comes to riots. A lot of people follow him across. They do not distinguish between the general perception and Raila, the individual, okay? In 2017, Maraga ruled to nullify the elections and claimed that the elections were not fair. And people took the streets again across the nation, with the exception of Central Province and Rift Valley. But pretty much everyone went out there and people organized themselves. Remember NRM with Miguna and others. They joined the ODM side, they worked together and took to the streets to protest. Uhuru Kenyatta trying to impose himself on Kenyans after the October 26, 2017 election where he ran against himself. So you see that again, the people, the majority of the people, was a people's movement, people initiated movement. It wasn't Raila Odinga telling people, let's take to the streets. Now, the biggest mistake Raila did this time was he assumed that after joining hands with the very person that people were protesting against, in the person of Uhuru Kenyatta, he assumed that he still had that support that he had pre-2017. So he came out there a few months ago. This past week you watched, he called on people to come out and protest, but you saw it was only limited to some counties in Nyanza province and some estates in Nairobi city. So what's the difference? What happened? Again, this time it's Raila calling for protest. The general perception is Ruto won fair and square, okay? But Raila, since he has enjoyed the support of the majority for a long time, pre-2017, he thought maybe people are still with him. So he was out there trying to tell people, hey, let's go and riot and see what happened. Nobody really showed up. So it was a flop. Okay, that's number one. So number one reason is Maandamano is people's initiated action. Okay, it's not a leader telling them what to people what to do. Okay. Two, Azimio the party. Azimio is a concoction of a bunch of recycled tribal wheeler dealers from the yesteryears who are jockeying for political positions and appointments. Azimio is bereft of any political ideology or philosophy. So their loyalty lies licentiously where their carnal cravings lead them. What do I mean? These guys have no loyalty. They don't stand on anything. They're not principled, okay? There's no philosophy that they subscribe to. There's no guidance. There's nothing that makes them stick together. The only thing that makes them stick right now is probably because there's a certain ex-president who's, lining their pockets, perhaps. That's why they're still sticking around. I mean, look at Kalonzo. Can you seriously tell me Kalonzo is supporting Azimio because he truly believes this is a vehicle of change? This is a political outfit that's going to revolutionize Kenyan lives for the better? Not really. So what I'm trying to say, and I'm not trying to say Kenya Kwanza are better than Azimio, but they are better in this sense. Kenya Kwanza is disciplined. Kenya Kwanza is, they're organized, and they have a vague sense of direction where they want this country to go, okay? If you compare them to Azimio. Azimio has absolutely no plan. I mean, right now you can see the Jubilee faction led by Sabina Chege basically heading out of Azimio. Because Azimio is so structured, there's nothing that holds them together. They are not organized. They're not standing on anything. So my second reason is Azimio the party. This was a party of convenience. It's an empty suit vessel. There's nothing to it. It was just something that helped them to go to the election, to gain power. But they did not get power. So it's disintegrating right now. And you can see that. So the party itself does not stand for anything if you look at it critically. That's reason number two. Three is Raila's character. His character is on trial. Right now, the perception is Raila is pretty tired, old, and really need to retire. Because there's two Raila, okay? There's a pre-handshake Raila and the post-election, post-2017 Raila, post-handshake Raila. The Raila before the handshake with Uhuru, he was the anti-corruption Raila, the anti-extrajudicial killings Raila. He was the pro-institutional reforms Raila. He was Raila the whistleblower. That's the difference. Now, the Raila is the person looked at, the person who sanctions corruption. He's looked at as a totalitarian head of Azimio. Most people are complaining about him, the nominations of, MPs or whatever the case. You saw his speech, even his speech yesterday when he was trying to link Ruto with the killings in Sakaola. It was just ridiculous. But compare that to the Raila before the handshake, where he spoke valiantly against corruption. He mentioned things when things were going wrong. He was what most people aspired to be. He was looked at as the leader that can take us to Canaan. But once he met Kenyatta, he kind of muddied the water, and he lost his gravitas, okay? So now people, they're not looking at him the same. He doesn't have the same influence or the same, the same gusto or the same reputation like he used to be. Now we are looking at him like an old man who's confused and he's surrounded by a bunch of losers. Reason number 4, inept advisors. Look at the people who are surrounding Raila. Makao Mutua, Herman Manyora, the pseudo-intellectual. These are the people who are advising Raila. Remember when Herman Manyora came to his, I think it was one of the TV shows, and he said, don't be surprised if you see Raila walk out one day wearing military attire and leading people to Maandamano. What do you think Kenya will do? You know, Kenya will be, this country can go to down the drain or something like that. Then we watch Raila a few weeks later walk out in his military gear. He looked ridiculous. I mean, him, Wamalwa, Kalonzo, Martha Karu, I mean, they just looked like a bunch of cartoons. This is just, it was comedy. All I'm saying is this, the reason people who are advising Raila, the speeches that they write for him. I mean, again, I go back to the speech that he was making yesterday when he was trying to link Ruto with what happened in Kilifi. I mean, and he was mentioning Rigathi Gachagua's wife, Ruto's wife. I mean, what are you doing, Raila Odinga? I mean, it was embarrassing. Who is advising this guy? So, this inept advisors around him, just compare that with the previous advisors that Raila had, like Miguna, who advised him of how to take power, how to deal with these Uhuru Kenyatta and Kibaki. You know, you saw the advice that he got really made the regime at the time nervous. But these Makao Mutuas and Herman Manyoras, they're more of like stand-up comedians. So yes, reason number 4 is inept advisors. He's surrounding himself with people who have no political know-how. They're just, they're better off being in the TV and giving their commentary than giving advice. So that's why you see Raila is mumbling and he just looks ridiculous. That's reason number 4. Reason number 5, and the last one, is Ruto's clairvoyance. Ruto saw this miles ahead, okay? He knew the game plan. He knew what Raila wanted because, again, he has been in office. You know, in 2013, 2017, he was on the other side of the aisle when Raila was trying to negotiate himself into power. So he knows how Raila works. And as I say, the one advantage that Ruto has is he's disciplined, he's organized, and he executes, okay? Call him what you want, you know? And I'm not a fan of Ruto as a person, but give his due respect, okay? He knows how to play the game. Say what you want. I know some people are saying, oh, he's buying MPs, he's buying MP. Listen, Raila and Kenyatta has enough money to buy the whole of Kenya. So if they want to buy the parliament, they can buy every senator, every MCA, every member of parliament, okay? But it's not about that. Ruto did something that's ingenious in a way. He portrayed himself as a hustler and portrayed Raila and Uhuru as what? As the elites, political elites who cannot understand the common mwananchi's problems. Again, politics is all about perception. If you can paint your competitor in a certain kind of light, you win. And that's exactly what Ruto did. Now, Raila can go and try Maandamano. People look at Maandamanos as a way that's not helpful to the common mwananchi. It only brings chaos, losses, and death, okay? And it's also not good for the economy. How are business people going to feed their families if there's a Maandamano, okay? So these are the reasons why I give, the major reasons why these Maandamanos will not work, because Maandamano by itself and the person leading this Maandamano in the person of Raila Odinga, they have lost their credibility. So they can go out there and make noise, but they will not be seen as people who have a legit reason to be out there. Anyway, I wanted to keep this short. Tell me what you think. This is Fabrizio Romano, aka Kenya Revolutionary. Like, share, and most importantly, subscribe and comment. Tell me what you think. I'll see you guys later. Peace.